Squirrels! So hello, and welcome to another Legends of Runeterra video. My name is Chris, and today we've got Diana. And yeah, there's not much more to say. Let's just jump straight in. Let's see what we've got here.
Each act of heresy is an act of passion.
2 mana. I'm gonna try and see if we can just see her straight away. Diana, 2 mana. Is there any other 2 mana champion? We'll get back to that anyway. 2 mana, 2/2. Quick attack, Nightfall. Give me Challenger this round. You've activated Nightfall 4+ times. Okay. Interesting. Let's see what goes out. Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Find your own light within the darkness.
Oh, that's neat.
Light I cherish, Queen Sister. Unseen, unheard, the new moon conceals you from our foes. Find your path in the dark and follow no false light.
Oh, that's so cool. Diana, hold on. That was really cool. But Diana, it will still be 2 mana. I think the 1 mana is obviously because it got discounted earlier in the video. So it will be 2 mana. I don't think it'll be 1 mana. It becomes a 3/3. Quick attack still. Nightfall, or when you activate another Nightfall, give me +2 and Challenger this round. Okay. Interesting design.
The truth protects our cause.
Oh, that's a new card. Kill that squirrel. With Diana in your deck. Oh, something the Moonstalker. Hold on. Let's take a look at you. So I'm not sure if this will be 5 mana or 6. Nightfall, give me and an ally elusive this round. 4/2?
Come into the daylight, Diana. Daylight blinds, but night renews.
Okay, there's Diana. Let's go on over to Twitter and see some of the other cards as well. And so here they are. So we've got Diana, who's obviously the 2 mana 2/2, becomes a 3/3. Her champion spell is Diana's Pale Cascade. Give an ally +2/+1 this round. Shuffle a Diana into your deck, obviously. Nightfall, draw 1. Interesting. 2/1 this round. It goes pretty well with Diana, but I'm not sure. I mean, again, it's going to be how do you get Nightfall? That's pretty much all. Because if you can get Nightfall reliably on this card, then it's pretty good. Obviously, because the +2/1, the draw 1, that's a pretty good effect. That's pretty neat. Particularly as like a combat trick. But if you can't get the Nightfall, it's not really worth it. So we'll see. Then we do have the 6 mana Sinus. I'm gonna go Sinus the Moonstalker. Is the 6 mana 4/2 Nightfall. Give me and an ally elusive this round. This card, I think, the 2 health for like a 6 mana play. I mean, this is trying to be an aggro deck. It's kind of an aggro finisher, but it just seems a little weak, I guess. And if your opponent has any elusive, this card is just completely terrible. So I'm gonna say this card isn't that great. It might see some play. I highly doubt it though. Hush is a 3 mana burst speed spell. Silence a unit this round. Create a fleeting hush in hand. Silence a unit this round. Create a fleeting hush in hand. So you can silence multiple units, and then I'm guessing that the fleeting one then create another hush? The fleeting hush would surely also be silent units this round, create a fleeting hush in hand, I'm guessing. So I guess in theory you can just continually do this. I mean, it doesn't really fit, I think, with like the archetype itself. But I'm wondering if this has some sort of application, if you could use this in some kind of crazy way. You know, I mean, like a Cloud Drinker Hush deck, and you just play infinite hushes. I don't know. Like, what would you do with Hush? I don't know. Anything that just creates I think it would be potentially infinite. If obviously you could make it 0 mana. I'm just wondering if that is the case. If it is the case, then, you know, potentially it has some combo piece at some point. You know, if you could make something crazy happen, I don't know. But if it's not, and that fleeting hush doesn't create another fleeting hush, etc., going on, then I think the card is pretty useless. Like, Purify is obviously a 2 mana silence something permanently. Now, silence as an effect is not that important going forward on most things, because you're kind of using it as kind of like an anti-combat trick most of the time, I would think. It is silence a unit, so it also does work on champions. Okay, that I just remembered this. Because that was similar to Sunburst, as someone pointed out to me, that I didn't pick up on my live reaction on that one. But on this one, it sounds a unit, not a follower, a unit. So that means that you can do quite a few things, you know, to champions. So maybe Hush does have some potential in the fact that it can silence champions. That is interesting. That could save you quite a bit. I mean, against Tryndamere, that's just absolutely ridiculous, right? But I don't think Tryndamere is really that good anyway. But yeah, that's interesting. Against a lot of different stuff. You know, Braum, you know, can stop the Poro from spawning, which could be pretty cool as well. There's a lot of different things that you can stop with Silence a Unit this round. That could be pretty nice. Oh wow, that it's like a 3 mana remove it, like kill a champion if they're attacking with it, kind of. You know, very good on Fiora as well, of course. But you're gonna have to find a way to kill it. Hush is interesting. It definitely, I don't think it's amazing, but I think it could be a one-off in certain decks. It could find a way into decks. We'll have to see. And then Poro Cannon, is this the Poro card? To play, discard 1. Create 2 Daring Poros in hand. Is the Daring Poro the elusive one? This is a P and Z card, by the way. I just noticed. That would have been a bit odd if it was creating the P and Z. To play, discard 1. Create 2 Daring Poros in hand. So it's a 0 mana card. I mean, 0 mana cards are always going to have, I think, potentially some viability. This is obviously going with the discard package, and very well could fit in with a Jinx Draven deck. I think more so the problem though with those decks is they don't have the best discard targets. Obviously you can't make anything that's too strong. It's interesting. We'll see if that sees play. But let's go back to Diana now and talk about her and her associated card and whether she is any good. Is there a 2 mana champion in the game? I don't think so. I could be completely missing something, but I think Diana might be the first. There's obviously Teemo and Fizz, who are 1-drops. And then I can think of a bunch of 3-drops, I mean, but I can't think of any other 2 mana champions in the game. If there is, I'm very sorry for being an idiot. But, Lucian. Lucian is a 2 mana champion. Is he the only one? Potentially. I'm going to stop thinking about it. But anyway, so Diana, I guess, has a below average stat line in that sense. But Nightfall give me challenge this round. You saw the interaction it has with the Dusk Petal something, whatever it was called, that we saw yesterday. That if you didn't see that card, it reduces the mana cost of your next Nightfall ally, so you can potentially play this on turn 2 with the Nightfall. Giving it Challenger will pretty much give you probably a decent trade into something, but Problem is, of course, what if they've played a 2-3? Like, if they've played a 2-3, if they've played War Chefs on turn 2, well, now your Diana is just dying. You have to hope that they've played a 3-2? Or you're just going to remove a 1-drop? But what 1-drop is worth removing? See, this is interesting. Like what target are you... And you would develop into Diana, playing her with Challenger, and they know that. And this is assuming you're attacking on turn 2. And then what? It just doesn't seem to make much sense. Because obviously they just wouldn't play into it. Like, what's the best case scenario? You're attacking on turn 3 and they... No, because then you would have to play Diana. Is it just this round? Man, I don't know about this at all. Like, what's your best option? That you get rid of Twisted Fate later on in the game? You play Diana like turn 5? Like, what? Obviously, Challenger and Quick Attack are pretty strong. But if you think about your attacking turn 2, you have to develop into Diana with Challenger. At which point, they're just not gonna do that. So I think the pre-flip version is pretty bad. Yeah, I don't see it. If she had 3 attack, then I'd say, yeah, at least she can kill pretty much everything on turn 2. There's nothing that can escape her wrath, so that's going to slow your opponent down. Her leveled up condition, right? Let's go into this. So, Nightfall, or when you activate another Nightfall, give me 2-0 and challenge this round. So she scales much better into the late game. The fact that she can now start to kill anything. But Nightfall, it just seems a bit all over the place. Like, this ability reads like a mid-range value card, right? Like, hey, here's a 2-mana card that oh look, now it's leveled up, can deal all this damage to you. But everything else of Nightfall is like, I'm an aggro card. Oh, by the way, I'm an aggro card. I've got Overwhelm, I've got Elusive with decent stats. It's like, I'm a 4/1 1-drop if you get Nightfall on me. It's like, but the two champions seem much more like mid-range value. Yeah, I'm just a bit confused. Like, Diana's second ability is pretty strong. The problem is, every other Nightfall card is too aggressive. Like, it's just too aggressive for what they want to do. Why would you want to play a 5/3 Overwhelm in that deck? You'd rather play, more challenges. You'd rather... it just doesn't make much sense. I'm just a bit confused. I mean, Diana, as a whole... Her level up is you've activated Nightfall 4 times, so you don't have to play her on turn 2, which is somewhat helpful. I don't think you'd want to play her pre-flip, to be honest. I think you'd much rather wait for her to be leveled up and then play a 2-mana 5/3 with Quick Attack and Challenger once she's leveled up as a value champion. But then the problem is, all these Nightfall cards... I mean, apart from Diana's Pale Cascade, which is kind of a mid-range card, that's like a, hey, here's a, refill your hand and give an ally +2/+1. That I could see. That works. You could play this even in a lot of other decks. That works as like a mid-range value card. That's pretty nice. I don't know about this, to be honest. I suppose the 3-mana 3/2 that drains is somewhat mid-range, It's a bit aggressive, but it also is healing you against quick attacks. So that's somewhat of a mid-range card. The Dusk Rider was terrible. I'm trying to remember the Shadow Isles cards. And then the ones that we saw yesterday were okay. The 1-drop was decent. The Elusive one was okay. But they're not mid-range. The Overwhelm one, it's just not a mid-range card. They're aggressive cards. And you have to have a Nightfall for them as well. This is the thing. Poro Cannon weirdly fits into a Nightfall deck. This is the kind of card they actually need. But it's in P&Z. Poro Cannon is exactly what this deck needs, actually. It needs a card that's 0 mana, that creates 2 other 1-drops in your hand, because there's your Nightfall enabler in one card. You just enabled 3 Nightfalls. But it's in P and Z. This should have been the Targon Paro card. Potentially. I mean, I know the discard one and all that, but like, this is a Nightfall card. So I don't know. I really don't know about this whole thing. I would say if, like, let's just take Diana Vacuum, right? Which is kind of hard because obviously, like, Runeterra is based around the whole idea of synergies with these champions, so it's kind of hard to do that. You know, like if the discard package was just completely insane, Jinx would be one of the best champions of the game, right? But it's not, so it's not, pretty much. And Nightfall is obviously highly synergistic, and generally speaking, the synergistic champions tend not to be the best ones. If you think about who the best champions are in the game, like, think about Braum. Braum got really good when he didn't need any synergy, and he just created you know, 3/8 across 2 bodies worth of stats. Like, that's when Braum got good. And even, it was 4/8 when he was a 1/5. So that's how Braum got good. He became non-synergistic. He just became a very, very good value card. Sejuani is just a really good value card. Yes, you know, might want to build around the fact that she has a really good level up condition as well. But in general, you know, her pre-leveled up condition is just really good. Ezreal, I suppose, is somewhat synergistic, but the fact is that, you know, he's such a good finisher that he's just so much better at finishing a game than everything else that it's worth going in for the synergy for. Whereas most of the other champions you just see just aren't. Or, you know, they need somewhat easy ways to do it, but, you know, it's forcing you down Nightfall. So if those cards aren't good, the deck is not good. So it's like, Diana, I think, is fine. She's in a confused archetype that isn't that great, and that's a shame. I think I like Diana's Pale Cascade. I could see that being run in even like a Lee Sin deck. Obviously, you know, giving him the extra attack, and, you know, Nightfall drawing 1, you know, if you've played something else as well. So I could definitely see that being played sort of in a Lee Sin deck. We'll see. As I say, Sygas the Moonstalker, it's just not hitting the right things. Hush is an interesting card, certainly very interesting. And we'll have to see if that gets played and whether it is infinite or not. My initial reaction is that it should be, because I'm assuming the fleeting one has the same wording on it. But if not, then that's fine. It's still an interesting card, the fact that it can silence champions and, you know, therefore might see play because it's an effect that, you know, other cards don't really do. And so it's certainly interesting. And Pyro Cannon, as a card, would fit really well with the Nightfall, as I say, but maybe would see, you know, you can go turn, I mean, you know, you could go turn 1 and go Pyro Cannon, discard a Jury Rig, play a Daring Pyro as well, and, you know, you've got a decent start to the game there, I suppose. It gives you, I suppose it doesn't give you card advantage, but if you're in a discard deck, then you probably would play it. Probably. But outside of that, obviously it has very niche consideration, I think. Would you play in a Pyro deck? Maybe. I mean, Daring Pyro is one of the better ones because it has elusive, right? So maybe you would. Maybe you would play in a Pyro deck as well. And I think that's probably all I have to say about these cards. Diana's certainly interesting. And I think Diana herself is fine. I really like her level up ability. Her pre-flip isn't great, but she is only 2 mana, so, you know, not expecting to be too amazing. I kind of like her, you know, second ability. If Nightfall was just a bit more suited to what's going on, to be honest, because, like, if it said Overwhelm, it would make a lot more sense. Like, Quick Attack Overwhelm, you know, still makes some sense, I guess, you know, in the fact that Diana's staying alive. That would make more sense towards an aggro archetype, in that, you know, now you've got this 2 mana 5/3, you know, that could potentially become 7 and 9, you know, go up and up and up if you can keep activating this Nightfall cards. And you know, this is the thing. If she said Overwhelm, it would make a lot of sense, because obviously each Nightfall card, you only have to play one first. So you play one card first, and then you just drop a bunch of Nightfall cards on the same turn, a bunch of those 1-mana 4/1 fearsomes. And all of a sudden, if Diana said Overwhelm, then, you know, you've got like a 9/3 Overwhelm quick attack. So she's not probably going to even die, and then, you know, you can just go crazy with it, and that would be a nice aggro card. The fact that it's Challenger, it just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit with what you're trying to push it down. I don't know. I think that's going to do it for this one. So yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about Diana and about Nightfall in general, and whether it's going to work or not, and you know, can it work Nocturne? Would you even play with Shadow Owls given the cards we've seen? Let me know. And with that, I think I will bid you farewell, and so have a really nice day. My name's been Chris. Yeah, I'll see you next time.